What is up, guys? Moy here, along with my trusty co-host Caleb, coming to you guys with another episode of Rejects Rewind. We definitely have a lot to talk about, and I'm super duper excited. I gotta say, when we started doing this podcast, I have been very greatly looking forward to reviewing my favorite album of all time, Kids in the Street. So we will finally be getting to half of Kids in the Street today. We'll be doing the first six songs, kind of giving our takes and opinions on them. And before that, um, we will talk about a new song that the All American Rejects are dropping very shortly, called Get This. And I'll hand it over to Caleb to kind of lead that discussion.
Yeah, so we are already getting our next single from the All American Rejects. Get this! It comes out November 28th. We have both listened to it, and we're gonna give our little bit of our opinions here, a little sneak peek of what we think of the song before it drops. This episode will probably drop as the song is dropping, but a little bit about it. Honestly, I know this might be recency bias, but I think it's my favorite song on the album so far. I really love how it starts out in like the left headphone at the very beginning of the song, and it switches. It kind of reminds me of Night Drive intro, but obviously it's like
Nice.
acoustic guitars here. I really like verse one. It starts with some classic Tyson lyricism, but it's like real. It's not just like it's new and it's like Tyson's always talked about you writing about life basically. So I appreciate that it's kind of just still in his same catchy tone, but he's like, I know my left from right, or maybe not. I'm taking a drive along a memory and had an awful thought. You go into the chorus, which I think we kind of discussed pre-show, is that kind of flips it on the head, where the verses are kind of actually more like Tyson's vocals are more hyped, and then the chorus is just chill, where he's just like, "Get this, I put you on my wish list," but it's really, really catchy. I do love right before uh, the chorus where he says, "What if I'm wrong and you're right all along?" I just love how he hits the notes there. And I think this is honestly one of the catchier hooks. I like the "You're always in the top drawer. I won't be a loner anymore." We both already said this, but it kind of reminds us of "Put Me Back Together" or like a Weezer vibe. I think verse two comes in and it's even more fun than verse one. The bridge is really simple, but I think that it drives home kind of the overall theme of the song, which really works. And then you get Tyson's backing vocals in the final chorus, which I really, really love because, like we said, the chorus is very chill kind of in this song, but in the last final chorus, you do get those backing vocals, which were actually recorded on the tour bus during the Jonas Brothers tour, which is really cool. And I just really appreciate Tyson's backing vocals. He's really good at it. Really good song. I mean, it's my favorite song on the album so far. 10 out of 10, personally. What about you?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head with pretty much everything. I haven't listened to it too much, so but I will say like I do think it's funny. I think we should look back at our old episodes and look at every time one of these new songs have dropped and we said I think this is my favorite one on the album now. But and I've said this before too. The All American Rejects have this awesome ability to get a song stuck in my head before it's even come out. Like it's just crazy whether like I've heard it in a snippet or whether I've heard it live before the studio version comes out. Like I'm already obsessed with this song and it's so catchy. I can't stop like humming the hook to get this, put you on my wish list. And I think it's perfect timing too with like, Christmas vibes like, you make like a Christmas like wish list or whatever. So I think that's kind of cool. If I were to say that, then I guess now we have kind of a Halloween reject song, unofficial, and I guess a Christmas reject song if we're not counting Tell Me on Christmas. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I love yeah, we kind of talked about this how the hook is a little more like mellow in comparison to the rest of the song, which kind of also gave me like fast and slow vibes, where like the verses, are a little more upbeat, I guess, and then you go to the hook of fast and slow, and it's Tyson kind of just talking like a mellow, kind of monotone voice, and I think we kind of saw like a little bit about of that in this song, and I think it's freaking awesome, honestly. Just like another new sound from the All American Rejects. And we were kind of talking about this. Like, I could kind of see this song getting picked up, maybe like on TikTok or Instagram Reels and stuff. Honestly, I think it's so catchy that there could really be something there. I know I'll personally definitely be using it a ton with my art reels on Instagram or just my Instagram stories. I already know that I'll definitely be using it. So I'm excited to see, what this, how this song is received by the public and our fan base. But love it already, and
Really
I'm
excited
ready
to
for
see.
it.
Definitely want to see how the fans react to this. I'm with you there, 100%. It's really catchy. I could see it catching on, but I guess we just have to wait and see.
Yeah,
I do like what you
it's
said
also
though about going back and watching, because yeah, we could be saying the same thing about every song, but I really, really think this song has it.
yeah, I think this song will definitely be in my it'll be interesting when this song comes out in our top 10 blind ranks.
Yeah.
I think it'll definitely throw it off, but it's I feel like I didn't most of the new songs that we heard, like, and I kind of said this about Eggshell Tap Dancer too, like we kind of heard snippets here and there, like I know with like Sandbox and Easy Come Easy Go, like we heard them live way before we heard it like as a studio version. And aside from like the past week, I really didn't know anything about this song. I never like heard it teased. I don't know if you did, but it feels like it's like rare for me to discover like a new reject song for the first time when I haven't listened to it yet. So this was like a cool feeling, hearing it for the first time without having many spoilers or snippets. So it's an exciting feeling.
Yeah, that is true. You are right about the live songs. We still haven't seen Eggshell live. I don't know if we ever will. I'm hoping that we see this song live though.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean it's just another I think set lists will be very interesting when the rejects get back, to like touring by themselves, not with the Jonas Brothers. I think they got to make some room for some new songs. So it'd be cool to see what they bring back, what they incorporate. So it's really exciting though.
The album's only getting closer too, and it's due out in February still, the end of the February, but very close.
Yeah, and speaking of albums, well, so that one will come out in February of 2026, and the last album that the All American Rejects put out was back in 2012. Uh, so I think a bit of a thank you is in order to the fans who have stuck through all this time. Honestly, I'm just looking at Wikipedia here. Is in the Street came out in March 26th, 2012. So almost exactly, if the new album's coming out in February, um, it will almost be what, 14 years on the dot.
We were
Uh,
still in
be-
school.
yeah, I was in 6th grade when Kids in the Street came out. So
I was in high school, so
uh,
that's crazy.
I am now graduated college
Yeah.
and in the corporate world. So things change, but
Same.
my love for the All American Rejects
Never
never
faded.
goes away, and
Wasn't a phase.
it's a great. It was never a phase. It has been a long 15-year phase of being an All American Rejects fan. So, but with being an All American Rejects fan, I think a lot of that is like nostalgia and like, remembering all the songs that, were part of our childhood. And for most people, that was like Move Along and maybe Gives You Hell, but and Swing Swing. But for me, honestly, like when I think of nostalgia with the All American Rejects, I think of Kids in the Street. And I think most people maybe aren't in the same boat because it wasn't their most popular album and it wasn't picked up as much by the radio. But I to me, this was the album that kind of started off my discovery for the All American Rejects. Aside from hearing like Move Along and Gives You Hell like on the radio and in commercials, like this was the first album that I kind of watched on YouTube, and I kind of, since I turned 13, basically just grew up with it. And this album I hold very near and dear to my heart. Actually, as we record this, I'm legit looking at the record, the vinyl of Kids in the Street that is right behind my computer, which my girlfriend got me for my birthday. Awesome gift. Now I just need a record player so I can listen to it. um, but yeah, like this album, I think doesn't get the credit it deserves. I think it lyrically is their best album. I think when the new album drops, like it's gonna be hard for me to say I like it more than Kids in the Street. So I'm waiting for it to come out, and then I will, have my opinion. But um, this album is to me personally the best album I've ever listened to, and I would be so bold as to say I think it's a better album than my other first favorite album of all time, which was American Idiot by Green Day. And I don't think anyone on earth would agree with me on that.
I would agree with that.
But yeah, maybe like hopefully the Green Day fan
Yeah.
base never hears that.
We just have the podcast with the two biggest kids in the
Yeah.
street fans. Oh gosh.
Yeah, we might be a little biased. As I record with the guy who nicknames himself Gonzo. So definitely
Oh.
definitely some bias here. So
Yeah, my
but yeah,
profile picture is the album.
I definitely just rambled, so
No, I'm
I'll
glad
pass
you
it off
kind of
to you.
gave the intro to the album, honestly, because really, we really, honestly, thank you for saying everything that you said because um, it needs to be said. Really, this album is forgotten about. It's a great album, and it's crazy that it's been 12, 13, 14, however long it's been years now. And it's a great album. I think it's their best album. Honestly, that's my opinion. I know most people are going to say
Yeah.
"Move Along," and you hit the nail on the head when you said that this album is like nostalgic for you, and maybe for different reasons for me too. But it's because it wasn't my first. Like I had already been a fan of them,
Mhm.
obviously. But this song, the themes of the album, I feel like are what makes it nostalgic for me. And also, I just have memories of Gonzo specifically, which we're not getting into this episode, but I have specific, vivid memories of me, on the school bus going to baseball games, listening to that in my headphones in high school.
Yeah.
Before the game, every single game, I'd listen to Gonzo. So memories that are just crazy. This album, I really, truly appreciate, and I hope that even though I know that they're probably not listening, and they're definitely not listening 13 minutes into this podcast, but if Tyson or anyone never heard this, thank you. I know Moy feels the same way. Thank you guys for this album. We really do appreciate it as fans. But with
Yeah.
all with
Good.
all that out of the way, I guess we can jump into "Some Days Gone." This song really, honestly, I said the same thing about "I Wanna," but this song also I felt like made a good bridge between their earlier work and this album. It's kind of just a rock song, pop rock song. This song did come out before the album, before Beekeeper's Daughter. Even I remember they dropped it, and I'm pretty sure they just like filmed this music video themselves in Tyson's house. Like I don't think it's
Yeah.
anything to do with the label. I think they just wanted to drop a song because it'd been kind of a long time. And um, at the end of the day, I really do love the song. It's actually top 3 song on the album for me, and probably even in their whole all of their music, which is crazy. But just a song. It's pretty heavy for All American Rejects, but it's also got some good lyricism. I love the draw me a story, tell me a picture. Fall like a dead
Yeah.
man out of the airplane. I think you were in on that talk a long time ago when we were having the theories that Tyson is dead and he drowned and stuff. But we don't. We might want to dive into all that because it's just silly talk. But this song does lead into that, I guess. But I'm pretty sure you love the song just as much as me, so I'm gonna let you talk about it for a little while too.
Yeah. Yeah, I freaking love Some Days Gone, man. I really I would put it in my top 3 All-American Rejects songs of all time. I can genuinely say that I would say that I started listening to them in like 2020 sorry, 2013 like consistently, and like through like my discovery of them came through YouTube. So really, Some Days Gone was one of the first YouTube videos I ever watched, which again is not like the typical journey that an All American Rejects fan goes through, because I'm sure, everyone else probably, saw the Gives You Hell first, Move Along, which I did see those first, but third for me was Some Days Gone over like a Swing Swing music video or I Wanna. So maybe it was like recency bias, and I was like, wow, I'm just discovering this song for the new time. It's freaking awesome. But to this day, to 2025 November, it is still consistently every single year in my top Spotify songs. So I don't know if what to call that. I don't know if that's a good thing. Maybe I need to get like a new taste in music, but I love this song, man. And what a way to kick off the album. Like you said, very heavy song, very emotional song. You know, we've heard Tyson kind of tell stories about this song when he would play it live during like the Kids in the Streets tour about how maybe a little graphic, but he said this song was about like his friend who, you know, Tyson literally walked into a room and
Yeah.
saw this girl that he was like with one of his friends.
Was it Nick?
Who knows? Who knows? I gotta say, like, we gotta, you know, obviously the song's about like hating this girl, but whatever friend that was, we gotta question them because, like, why would they do that? You know, why would you do that to Tyson?
I know, that's crazy.
But selfishly, like, I'm glad it gave us this awesome song. But yeah, like one of the, I guess this would be the first All American Reject song to say "fuck" in it. Am I wrong to say that?
Oh, it definitely would have been, yeah, because they had Hell,
Yeah.
but I think that was it until this point.
Yeah, so, you know, the All American Rejects, they were getting a little older, you know, getting a little more mature, and they dropped a little F-bomb, first song of the new album. I think it's a great use of an F-bomb. I still remember singing this song in high school, and like back when I was in high school, like I didn't really curse or say bad words. I don't know. I was kind of like a goody two shoes. And I think like the first time I said that word was like singing this song. So thank you, Some Days Gone, for that. And
Yeah.
I think important to note too, this song has gotten a little love recently on some set
Yeah,
lists,
true.
which I think is definitely surprising to a lot of people. I actually, I mean, I still remember being on Instagram lives and basically blowing up the comments and begging them to play Some Days Gone at like sound checks and stuff. And me and a couple of other fan pages, and I'm sure you were too, were always just play Some Days Gone,
Yeah.
play Some Days. And shout out to, you know, the social media team. I really do feel like you guys hear our voice and you guys hear us when we beg and beg and beg for these songs. But it was awesome to hear Some Days Gone. I got to hear it in PA at a show. I think that was 2024 now. Or maybe it was early this year. I honestly don't even remember. My days are confused, but I got to hear Some Days Gone live and it was awesome. I do believe they maybe played it on like one or two Jonas Bros shows.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, this is a song that should be on every set list. I freaking love it. I freaking love the music video. I love the live version.
Yeah.
What a way to start this new album. I think this song is super underrated and everyone should give it a listen.
It's really good, and it's really just it's all American Rejects. Like it's their new sound. They definitely made a statement. You know, I mean, if people really even thought they were still pop punk with the last album before this, they definitely shed every bit of that with this album. But I mean, if you were really holding on for that, whatever. But the next song though we have is "Beekeeper's Daughter," which was the single on the album. Which, I mean, I'm gonna get a little controversial on this because I know a lot of people love the song. I just don't think that this song should have been the lead single. We'll get into that next, Fast and Slow, or even Some Days Gone. But either way, I do recognize that this song is very catchy. I wrote in my review 2 years ago that it was an earworm that honestly could have been a radio hit. And I wrote that the band was really ahead of its time. You know, the radio was shifting from guitar music to like these indie type bands. You know, you had The Script, you had Neon Trees, Hot Shell Ray, you know, like the Lumineers, even like Mumford and Sons, weren't they big around then? So like you had all
Yep,
these
yep.
random bands that were they were playing with guitars, but it was like synthy, you know, and different stuff like that. So I really feel like Kids in the Street just came out at a weird time, or maybe it was just because of people having preconceived notions about what the Rejects were. But either way, this song was really catchy. You know, I really love the bridge of this song, which I mean,
Yeah.
that's a given, right? You know, every All American Reject song, but this is a really good one. I actually have a weird memory where I was dating this girl, and we were riding in the back seat of her mom's car, going out to eat or something. I don't really remember all the details, but this song was on the radio, and
Wow.
I was like, I like this song, and her mom didn't hear me, and then like turned the song off because we were getting out of the car. But I was just like, dang. But it was all. It was actually on the radio. I think it bubbled under on like the charts. It never got in the Hot 100, but it was like top 40 on the bubbling under or something. So it was one of their last kind of big hoorahs on the radio, I would say. Obviously, me and you love this album, but it didn't go mainstream, unfortunately. But this song was definitely something. It's kind of interesting now that we know that Tyson apparently hates the song too, even though they have played it a few times since then. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of sad to me, honestly, that he doesn't like it because I love this song, honestly. And weirdly enough, I think it was, and I go through these weird phases where like a reject song that I never really listened to just becomes like my favorite song. I think it was maybe 23 or 2024. I just couldn't stop playing the song. And I liked it, when I heard it the first couple of times, but recently I loved it even more. And it's catchy, like the la da da da
yeah,
da. It's very easy to sing that over and over. I really do love the bridge. I especially love the bridge of this song live when
oh with Mike,
Mikey
yes,
he does the girl voice on like the echoed mic, and
yes,
him and Tyson kind of go back and forth. I love that. I think it's awesome, and it looks like they really get into it. I
shout out Mike.
remember, yeah, shout out Mike. Yeah, honestly, I remember during the Wet Hot Summer tour, like checking the set lists over and over to see if they were including it, and it was here and there on a couple of shows. And I remember asking people, hey, like please get a video of Beekeeper's Daughter, because at that point I had not heard it. I was lucky enough to hear it live at the same show in Pennsylvania that I saw Some Days Gone at. So it was like, when I especially when I heard that Tyson didn't like it, I was very bummed. I was like, no, please, just please play it one time before you like hate it forever. Like I need to hear this song live. So I've now since heard it live. Also got some love on the Joe Bros tour. But
I could see it with that
yeah,
crowd.
what's that?
I
Yeah,
could
yeah,
kind of see
right.
why they played it with them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it could have been a mainstream hit. I think your point was true about like how the radio was transitioning at the time, but I think it's definitely one of the more catchy songs on this album. I love hearing it live. I think they bring a great energy
The
when
guitar
they
features
when they
too.
play. Yeah. Um and with that, I know you had a strong opinion about this song, so I'll pass it over to you for Fast and Slow.
Yeah, I mean, this is just one of my favorites. Honestly, I kind of probably rank it a little bit lower nowadays, below Some Days Gone and Gonzo. But I've always loved Fast and Slow. It's just kind of a unique All American Reject song to me. I like we talked about it earlier in the Get This review, but the kind of Tyson's voice in the chorus, he's got that cool microphone effect. Apparently, Taylor Swift even said that this was the best song on the album, which is kind of crazy. Um, I don't know if it's like folklore or if it's true, but there's rumors that like Tyson brought that to the label. I mean, there's an interview Tyson saying this, that he brought it to the label and said Taylor Swift said this is the song, and that they basically were just like no. But I mean, obviously Taylor
Damn.
Swift wasn't what she is. She wasn't like
Right.
as big of a name and a star, um, so it's different. But I do think this song could have been catchy, but I still think it would have had the same fate ultimately as what Beekeeper's Daughter did. It just wasn't what people were expecting from the Rejects, even though I think this song is really, really good. I don't think it would have. I don't think any song on this album was going to catch, sadly. But it's one of my favorite songs by the band, not just on this album. It really just has like a nice groove. I really like the drums, the lyrics. The opening lyrics are just actually really good. I could dig myself a grave, but even 6 feet down, I know I'd still be found feeling this way. Like that's
Hmm.
really good. We've talked about Tyson's little witty lyrics
Yeah.
all along, but they get even better and better. I feel like as the albums go on, because he's not necessarily just writing about love in more of like in like a childish way anymore. He was growing up with these albums. I don't, he wasn't even 30 when he wrote this. They didn't even release a
Yeah. Wow.
single album in their 30s. It's crazy. They were all in their 20s.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I mean maybe the other members, but Tyson was definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, just like the chorus and everything about the song. The bridge on this one isn't actually my favorite, but it's all right. Other than that, yeah, it's one of my favorite songs. Love the lyrics.
Yeah, I think it's an awesome song. I love hearing it live with the like echoed mic as well. I remember when I first discovered the song, like they had the YouTube video of them playing it live. Maybe it's like the Vivo sessions. And that was to me like the first time seeing that, like the mic that they use, the special mic with like the black and white tape, and just hearing like Tyson's voice like echoed with that mic was freaking awesome, man. So again, like a testament to how they were kind of experimenting with sound like during that time, and why I think the album deserved more love, because it was different from what they were, just putting out. Like I feel like, Move Along had such a like specific sound, and then we go to Kids in the Street. Like I look at Some Days Gone, Beekeeper's Daughter, and Fast and Slow, and I think these are three incredibly different songs, and that's why I appreciate it so much. Like why did people in 2012 just not appreciate art is my question. But yeah, like I love the lyrics too. Like one that comes to mind is make me a crazy I just can't define, there's not a closet for you in my mind. Like just yeah, like you said, Tyson's lyricism is awesome, and um I guess it's kind of like a sexy love song.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
like I guess kind of gives like I Wanna vibes, but I think of I Wanna, and like the hook is much more energetic. Fast and Slow, like it's cool. It's like an upbeat song, but Tyson is like being kind of
It's
monotone with the
groovy.
voice in that. Yeah, so it's like the song is literally like fast and slow. Like his voice is going slow, but the beat is fast. So I think that's really cool. And yeah, I think even Tyson has said it that he's agreed with people on Twitter. I don't know if that was you that said it on Twitter that it should have been a single. Was that you that said that actually?
What was it? Yeah, yeah, it was actually. Yeah, he
Yeah, yeah,
tweeted
yeah.
back at me and said that he agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes we have opinions that the band agrees with, and sometimes they never hear them, and that's fine too. But
I do love that
um,
they appreciate the song. Yeah. Slept on
yeah,
it.
it's crazy for me to think that all three of the songs we just reviewed, we think about how Kids in the Street, like we say for the last like 10 years, didn't really get so much love, but these songs are like trickling their way back into set lists. I
Yeah,
know
they're about the
Beekeepers.
only ones.
I know Beekeeper's Daughter was much more consistently in set list. Not consistently, but here and there was sprinkled in. But Some Days Gone and Fast and Slow much more recently. But
Yeah, because I
yeah,
think I've seen Beekeepers at almost every, if not every show, almost every show. And I know we've talked about that previously on the podcast, how you've been unlucky, but yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely been
yeah,
around on the set list. I didn't really realize
yeah,
how different those three tracks were until you kind of said that. They all do have kind of
yeah.
different.
And just to even cut even more different, we've got Heartbeat Slowing Down next, which is completely different from these three songs. So I'll let you kick that one off.
This is just kind of a song that's different than anything really they had.
Yeah.
Really, I'm kind of disappointed, and maybe just throw this out there, even though who's listening right now, I don't know, but bring the Heartbeat Slowing Down music video. Let us have it.
For real, man.
But what I have written down, because off the top of my head, I'm not gonna lie, I don't listen to this song that often. This song that is a song that I think I actually connected way better with when the album first came out. I literally wrote in this review 2 years ago. It has such a different vibe from most All American Rejects songs to date, which I still agree with. The song is very unique. It still has classic lyrics from the band. I wrote this, and I do remember this. I really do love that guitar solo, and I think you're the one that put me on the video where they played it on Halloween, right?
Yes. I
And
was gonna.
that is
Yes.
like
Yes.
peak. That video is peak. So I do go to that video almost more than I go to the song. Um, I wrote I wrote that I'm honestly surprised this song didn't do as well at the radio, but maybe I disagree with that now. I can see why. But I mean, it was like it did have hit potential. I mean, it was kind of like a It Ends the Night in a weird way, just like in a different body.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I wrote I fucking hate this town. It's that was around like where they were memeing that every pop punk band said they hate this town or whatever. Um, but honestly, I really love the bridge, and there were some really cool backing vocals on the song as well. Overall, I think that even though I don't really listen to this song, I actually appreciate the song a lot, actually, still. And I think Tyson actually has said this is one of his favorite songs as well.
Yeah, similarly, like for more context on the video that I was talking about, there's a YouTube video. If you just look up Heartbeat Slowing Down live, I don't know what else you can put to find it specifically, but you can't miss it if you see it. It's Tyson Ritter dressed up as a mummy. It was like a Halloween show, and Nick was a vampire and stuff. And in that like in that same video, Tyson kind of goes on like a little rant before the song. I don't even want to call it a rant. I would say more like a kind of just kind of pouring out emotions on stage as he always does, and it's awesome when he does. And he was talking about, like people kind of judge him or whatever and say like, what he says, like, whatever drugs you think I'm on when I'm taking this song, like when I'm up on stage, and he's just like talking about life and stuff, and just getting really emotional, honestly. And then he then says how this is like the song that they've collectively agreed on all liking, all of the band members. And I can see why. It's such a powerful song. I do agree with you. I think it's like the It Ends Tonight of this album. um and man, dude, what an awesome guitar solo, like
Yeah.
especially in the live version. You guys all got to go find this video. The guitar in this video sounds freaking awesome. Better than the studio version to me,
Yeah, it's
but
like a 7-minute video or 7 or 8 minutes, something
yeah.
like that.
And it's just so much emotion packed into this song. Tell me, how am I supposed to breathe when losing you is choking me? So many great lyrics in this song. I've actually, and like I don't have any tattoos, but I've drawn some like tattoos of like a heartbeat turning into a heart. Maybe like an All American Rejects, like heartbeat slowing down inspired tattoo, which I don't know if I would ever get, but I would be lying if I said I didn't have the thought of doing that. So, or I've just like drawn that in my notebooks and stuff. But yeah, I think this song, like, it'd be awesome if we ever did get the music video. But there is like kind of a, like semi music lyric video that exists on YouTube.
Yeah.
Where they are like putting up like big poster boards with like the lyrics of the song. And I always loved that video, honestly. Like, I think for what it was, even though we never got the actual music video, like I still feel like even though it was literally just them putting up like poster boards with like words on them, like you could still like feel the emotion that was captured in the song.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we definitely haven't heard this one live. I think I'm at this point I'm just bragging now, but when I went to the show in Pennsylvania, people were like yelling for them to play these songs. This is at Parks Casino in Pennsylvania, and somebody's like, "Heartbeat slowing down," and it was right before Tyson was about to play "There's a Place" acoustic, and he actually played like a minute of "Heartbeat Slowing Down." There's a video of that on YouTube too. He played it a cappella, and it was awesome. It was awesome to get to hear that, and it was funny too because it was some guy like probably like 20, 30-year-old dude who said "Heartbeat slowing down," and Tyson's like, "You're the last person I would expect to request that song."
And it had to be a real
Uh,
fan too. That's what's really cool. 'Cause
Oh,
that's a deep
yeah,
cut.
absolutely. I wish I got to see who it was, honestly, because that's a real fan there.
Yeah.
But yeah, heartbeat slowing down, so much emotion. I think when I was like a depressed high schooler, I would definitely sing out a little too loud the "I fucking hate this town."
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely resonated with that line. So yeah, it's a great song with a ton of emotion. And these other bands, they don't make them like this, man. They don't make songs like this, dude.
Not with that depth and all of the differences in each song. You're 100% right. Which really goes into this next song, which is completely different in most ways. It's more of a loose and rock and roll song, and it's honestly more loose than any of their songs to date, I would say. Um, there's just something weird about this song. Maybe it's just me, but I always felt like "Me versus the World" was like the closest song to this. I don't know if that makes any sense at all.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. No, that does make sense.
The song has a really good Nick guitar solo. The bridge I really love. The music video I can't go without saying is honestly one of my favorites. It's just
Yeah.
like flip cards or something, like I don't know exactly what you call it, but Tyson like drew it on like a sticky pad or whatever, and they basically somehow made it all into a video. The lyrics in this are just crazy. I actually really like this song. I don't think I've ever heard it live. I don't think they've played it live in a long time, but there's a really good video of them playing it at like the MDA awareness thing. It's like a big
Yeah. Mhm.
event, and it's a really good video. But it's like, "Doctor, doctor, could you please just give me something for the state I'm in?" It's really Tyson talking to himself, and I think there's also really good like in Beekeepers where Mike's doing the vocals. I think in this song they have that too, which is really good. Where what does he say towards the end? He's I'm trying to read the lyrics, but he
For a
basically
Beekeepers?
for "Walk Over Me," they kind of have
Oh,
that at the end too. But yeah,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
but really, it's just a loose rock and roll song. I mean, it wasn't a single, but it got released like promotionally, I think, or maybe it was a single in a different country. But either way, I like the song. I think it's pretty much slept on. I don't think it's as slept on as the song coming up, but I'll let you say what you want to say about this song before we get into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I think honestly, if I had to pick a least favorite on the album, I would probably say "Walk Over Me," and it's kind of sad to say that because again, like I think about the first songs that I discovered from them and the first music videos, and "Walk Over Me" was one of them because of just the time that I became a Rejects fan. I love the music video, especially as someone who appreciates art and like drawing and stuff. Like that was super cool to me just to see like all the little doodles and stuff in that music video. So I thought that was awesome. And yeah, I was thinking about the that live performance that they had. I think it's that's one of my favorite live performances. I think it was off YouTube for a while,
It
and
was,
they
yeah.
brought it back. I actually can't really think of another music YouTube video where the song is played. But actually there I have seen one where funny enough it's actually "Walk Over Me" and "Out the Door" in the same video. So I definitely have seen
They
that,
have
which I'll
like that
send you out.
acoustic one too.
That's true. That's right. That's right. Oh, and then you know what? I meant to call out about Fast and Slow earlier. There's an acoustic version of that song
Ooh,
too.
yeah, so good.
Yeah, I feel like we should have talked about that. Where there's one where they play it in like a little theater, and then there's one where they play it like it looks like they're on Hawaii or something on an island.
Yeah,
This is for Fast and Slow. And there's like no mics, just instruments and singing, and it's the
yeah.
full band at the time, which was, you know, the obviously
Scotty
we
and
got
Matt, yeah.
Scotty and Matt Rubano were there too, along with Chris, Tyson, Nick, and Mike. So that was cool,
Six deep,
but.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, about "Walk Over Me," like yeah, I think it is unfortunately the one that I listen to the least. But I do like the bridge a lot, and I think like a common theme with like Beekeeper's Daughter and like "Walk Over Me" is kind of give me like gives you hell vibes in like the sense it's like Tyson or like if it's not about Tyson, just like someone kind of like not arguing, but just like being I don't know how to explain it, like being evil to women maybe.
Yeah,
Like 'cause at the end he says, "So you can see me when I leave, walk over you." And then Beekeeper's Daughter is obviously basically about Tyson being like a player.
yeah,
So I think like Beekeeper's Daughter and Walk Over Me had a similar similar style, but yeah, I think it's funny to me that it got a music video over like some of the other songs here
yeah.
that I'm looking at. Um, I was gonna say one last thing about "Walk Over Me." Don't forget. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I do remember during the Kids in the Street time, and I think this is also part of the reason why I love this album. The Rejects had like a side YouTube channel at the time, where they just posted like tour vlogs and stuff.
Hmm.
And I remember seeing one. I forget where they were in this specific vlog, but it was like "Ask Me Anything." Like they were answering fan questions, and someone asked like, "What's your favorite song on the album?" And Chris just comes in on the tour bus and says, "Walk over me," and I I assume he was joking unless he really likes the song, but I just thought that was funny that Chris said that.
He might.
But yeah, maybe maybe. But speaking of favorite songs, I have a lot to say about this next one, but I
Okay.
will let you give me your takes on "Out the Door" first before I rant about how I think it's one of the All American Reject songs ever.
Okay, I got you. Well, don't have a lot to say, but I actually do have a really good appreciation for this song. About everything I'm gonna say is not gonna matter because you're talking to one of the biggest fans on the other side of this. But I wrote that I actually think that this is one of the most slept on songs by the band. I'm sure you would agree with that, but
Yeah,
it's probably not
sure.
slept on for you. So I hardly hear anyone talk about it is also what I wrote, which is probably true, but you love the song, so. I
Yeah.
also remember this song weirdly. It was leaked on Tumblr before the album came out. Um,
Wow.
I don't know why I remember that, but I've always been a fan. I think I've said this in several of these podcast episodes that I love the songs that really have a build up, and this is probably one of their best. Um, It has like a very laid back with the simple like guitar riff. You know, it's just like I can't really make the sound, but you know how it is. It's just like
Yeah, yeah,
basically. And until about 2/3 through the song, you know, it really opens up. And there's also like this really, if especially in headphones, this really crazy like siren that just plays throughout the
yeah,
song. It either like
yeah,
drives you crazy or it makes you appreciate like the hidden genius of it. Like I don't know if that's like a Tyson decision. It probably is, but it really is crazy. Um, that's really all I have written about the song. I mean, I really like kind of the intro. It's just like shot by bedroom eyes and that screaming silence, frozen fire, hypnotized. It's just a lot of words put together, but I mean, it works. And then I really just like honestly just the build up. You know, whenever he comes back in and every single day, and then the baby. It's
yeah.
just so good, dude. That whole last part of the song is really good.
Yeah. I could probably talk about this. I could probably write an essay on this song, to be honest, but I think it's when I think of like the different sounds that we hear on Kids in the Street, like Out the Door is one that comes top of mind for me, along with like Bleed Into Your Mind or like maybe like a Some Days Gone. But for me, Out the Door is like the song that like says this is a new sound that we're doing and it just sounds awesome, man. And I think the fact that the All American Rejects are like considered like pop punk and whatever people call them on Reddit, like listen to Out the Door, man. Like there is no genre that can capture like this song. Like I don't think they fit into a genre. Like and especially with this song, like it is, and I mean that in the greatest way possible. Like I've never heard a song that sounds like Out the Door. I never have. From the way it starts to the way it ends, like the guitar at the beginning and the build up is so awesome. The lyrics are awesome. Like we're both fried, we feast on poison apples. I'm petrified. And then he talks about I remember too, like when I first heard the song on YouTube, like there's like a part in the beginning of the song where Tyson goes, "That second hand you place on me, my heart could stop." Which, by the way, what a freaking awesome lyric, right?
Yeah,
And then
the
he
clock
kind of
ticks.
just like, yeah, and then he goes tick tock, and then there's like I think there's a line where he I don't want to say moans, but like just kind of makes a sound or whatever. And someone on the YouTube, I assume it was a girl, like wrote about that part specifically, how she thought it was like so hot or something, which I thought, but yeah, like this song, it makes me think of just like, well, I listened to this song a lot in college, which I don't feel like many people listen to a song like this in college in comparison to all like the party songs that are out there and stuff. But um definitely while I was let's just say I relate to the line that says we're both fried because definitely listened to that this specific song when I was under the substances, but it gave me even more of an appreciation for the sounds in this
Yeah,
song.
that
um
100% says we're both fried, but this lyric site says we're both right.
Yeah, and it's like it makes me the song makes me feel like think of like two people that are just like I guess maybe like poison for each other or something, or just like fried together, or like just I don't know, maybe even like just going on a trip together. Not that kind of trip, like the other kind of trip. And I think those sounds like capture it perfectly. And my favorite part of the song has always been the part towards the end where he says every single day.
Yeah,
Just everything from that part on,
I
like
remember.
oh remember. Yeah. If I think I said this about Back to Me in the last episode we recorded, but if the All American Rejects are listening and you guys are bored and maybe want to practice a song to maybe throw on the set list, like please consider Out the Door. Because I love this song, man. It's so freaking good. It was my number one I on Spotify, I think 2023. Like I genuinely like think that I might be the only person on this planet that ever had Out the Door as their number one song of the year on Spotify. You can quote me on that or tell me I'm wrong, but if there's anyone else who is listened to that song enough times for it to be in the same spot, like let me know, because I really think it's just me.
Honestly, I believe it.
Yeah.
I would take the
But
bet.
yeah, that's
Well, let me
yeah,
raise a
right.
question real quick, since I mean, I'm not.
Sure.
I don't want to say that you're the professional on the song, but I mean, I will say that. Uh, so you kind of gave me I didn't really think about it this deeply. I'm not gonna lie, because we just kind of we had time to do the podcast, and that's great. We're doing it, but so there's the line you're talking about. You know how you it's like a toxic relationship, but they can't get away from each other or whatever. So is that what the
Yeah.
line means when he's saying "I walk out the door"? Because I always took it as he's walking away, kind of like in "Walk Over
Mhm.
Me," similar. But then he says "and next to you," so is it just like the person his fault is right with him, even though he's trying to get away from them?
Yeah, it's honestly hard to it's hard to decipher because I feel like a lot of these songs like have like maybe hidden meanings that we don't really see, but
Yeah.
also like I think like to the point of like the toxicity, like Tyson says like I get my fix if I get close
Mm-hmm.
to you, just a dose of you. So it's almost like maybe comparing someone you're with like to like a drug, you know?
Yes.
And that I
Definitely.
think that's and like how drugs are, like, they
Yeah.
sometimes feel good, but they're maybe not good for you. So I think it's quite frankly, I think it's a song about drugs or
Yeah.
doing drugs with someone. But
Probably just like
but
living
yeah,
through the
like
highs with them too, and kind of.
yeah, yeah. And it kind of gives like that fast and slow vibe, like make me a crazy I just can't define. I think there's another line in Fast and Slow that makes me think that same thing, but
And that siren
yeah,
hits
I
him
feel
with
like
something because it kind of like is
yeah,
almost meant to drive you crazy.
yeah, right. And maybe it's again to I think we're doing some really good discovery on this
Yeah.
song. I think we might have cracked the code, honestly. Would be awesome to hear what
Yeah,
the,
we need to hear. That'd be awesome if we could ever maybe try to set that up somehow, just to get deep dives on some songs like
just
these
like
old ones. Yeah.
yeah, just like ask every single question that we have about every single one of these songs.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so were we stopping there for Kids in the
Yeah, we
Street
will stop
without
part one here.
yeah, I mean, what a the first half of this album is so awesome. I'm just looking at the second half, some great songs to dive into. But if I had to ask you, putting you on the spot here, dude, you want to maybe not maybe rank the first six, but maybe just like a top three
Top
for
three.
you?
Okay, yeah.
Probably guess yours, honestly.
I can do a top three, but I'm gonna say, and honestly, you kind of talked me into it. But then again, I can't see another song that I would probably put above it. I'm gonna go "Some Days Gone," "Fast and Slow," "Out the Door."
Nice, nice, nice. I would, dude. I don't know if I can do a top three with these. Okay, so it'd be Some Days Gone first, then Out the Door. Then honestly, maybe Heartbeat Slowing Down. I really can't pick between Fast and Slow and Beekeeper's Daughter.
Yeah.
Maybe Beekeepers then Fast and Slow, but I love Fast and Slow, so like it shouldn't even be that low. But I'd say Walk Over Me is probably the one I listen to the least out of these. But yeah, I mean it'd be awesome to get all of these songs in a set list one day, but specifically Out the Door for me, like that would be awesome. That would be freaking
Be
awesome.
really
I think
cool.
Out the Door is like I don't know. I could talk about it forever, and
It's
I'm not
definitely
going
like a hidden
to.
gem for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, it's hard because this whole album kind of is, but definitely "Out the Door" because honestly, that's why I said what I said, because like, who do you hear talk about it? I don't hear anyone talk about
yeah,
it. I just happen to be talking to a big fan of it. You know what I mean?
yeah. I don't know if anyone can relate, but yeah. I mean, do we want to run some?
Yeah,
I mean, how
we
long
got some time. Yeah.
we got? Want to run some maybe some blind ranks, some head to heads? Up to you. What
Yeah,
do you
we'll
think?
do some. Let's do some blind ranks, or let's do head to heads for this album. How about that?
Let's do that. Yeah,
I'll pick
gotta do that.
I'll get a website going real quick. Okay, I'm just gonna pull. We'll go for you first. I'll just pull some songs and then I'll name two, and you can
Sounds.
pick whichever one.
Let's do it.
All right. "I for You" versus "Affection."
Oh man, dude, can't put those two against each other. Uh, I would pick affection just because. Well, I guess maybe we could save the review. I shouldn't get into.
Oh yeah,
I'll
sure.
go with. I'll go affection. I have great things to say about both of those songs, but
Yeah,
I'll go affection. Yeah.
I think I agree. All right, I'll go real quick. Okay, I got "I for You" versus Gonzo.
Oh well, I mean that
So,
one's obvious.
okay, Gonzo. Okay, I'm gonna go for you now. Let's see. You got "Beekeepers" versus "Bleed Into Your Mind."
Ooh. Okay, I like this matchup
It's
because,
unique.
like I said, I go through these phases, and like kind of since recently phased out Beekeeper's Daughter after like going through a phase with it. Um, but like Bleed Into Your Mind is creeping up on me lately, and I know you're not the biggest fan of it, but I'll go with Bleed Into Your Mind, which is a bit ironic because I just spent the last I guess we spent a couple minutes me telling how much I love Beekeeper's Daughter, and now I'm
It's
going
actually
with Bleed
grown
Into
on
Your
me a
Mind.
lot.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Bleed Into Your Mind on that one, but it's not an easy decision at all.
Yeah, Bleeding Your Mind's actually grown a lot on me, but I just got an impossible challenge here. Heartbeat Slowing Down versus Drown Next to Me. These are actually kind of like
Oh,
weirdly similar songs in a weird way, I would
yeah,
feel like, but I'm actually gonna just have to pick Drown Next to Me. I think it's just one of their best songs ever. So
agreed. It is a
personal,
great song.
personal
No
opinion
poor
too.
pick there,
So,
honestly. So I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't get that matchup because I don't know what I would have picked.
all right, you got Affection and Out the Door, but if you want me to re-roll, I can because you got Affection before.
Dude, no, I'm gonna brace this one. That's tough, man. I love both. I really love Affection so much. Damn, dude. Uh, oh my God. I'm gonna go without the door. Oh, but I love Affection.
It's
That
tough,
song,
yeah.
dude.
All right, we'll do one more each because we're kind of getting back to the repeat matchups. But for me,
Yeah,
Out the Door versus Heartbeat Slowing Down. I'm actually gonna go with Out the Door.
nice. Kids in the Street has not even come up yet. The title track
That's
is not even.
true. That's the only one I think. Gonzo's only came out once. Okay, Well, you got this. Affection and I for you. That's crazy. I'm gonna reset it for you.
Yeah.
Okay, Fast and Slow. I don't think Fast and Slow came up. Versus Drown Next to Me. Oh,
Oh, two incredibly different songs.
yeah,
I would go with Drown Next to Me, honestly.
yeah.
I would go with Drown Next to Me.
Okay,
Fantastic song.
I'm gonna give this one to you because mine's obvious. But Bleed Into Your Mind versus Gonzo.
Yeah, I'll go with Gonzo. Yeah. Dude, Gonzo might need like a whole episode, dude.
Oh yeah, honestly. All right, one more. Some Days Gone versus Walk Over Me. I think you basically said that.
Yeah, I think we'd agree on that one.
So we'll just wrap up this episode here, guys. And next time we're gonna talk about the second half. So overall, it started out really strong.
Yeah, this was, dude, wow, what a great first couple songs on this album. I know, like, to the public eye, like, to the casual fan, they might not agree, but I have a love and appreciation for every single one, not just in the first half, but of the songs on this entire album. So, I'm just honestly happy that we're finally getting to talk about this album. So, yeah.
Definitely, I'm really happy. And it's been almost a year, a little past a year to date since we started. So appreciate everybody that is still listening to this episode and that's still been tuning in for the podcast. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I think actually, yeah, I think it's kind of fitting that it's pretty much been a year now since we've started the podcast, and on the year mark we're at Kids in the Street, which I will say is both of our favorite albums. So I think it's very fitting, and it's kind of making me feel a little nostalgic. We started this little thing about a year ago now, and I think a thank you to you is definitely in order for kind of having this crazy idea,
Yeah.
and having this crazy idea, and I guess me being crazy enough to say yes.
Well, thank you for
But
joining for sure, man. And
yeah,
we didn't
dude,
know there was
and
going to be new music or anything. It's kind of a crazy
yeah,
world.
it's crazy, yeah. And I will say just before we wrap, something that I've been preaching loudly, preaching to the choir and yelling at the top of my lungs, is this hashtag that I would drop on the All American Rejects page, and in their live streams, and it's hashtag justice for kids in the street.
Yeah.
I think this album deserves all the love it can get. I think if you are a fan that hasn't listened to it, you should. And yeah, this is a great album. So I'm excited to. I'm happy that we're getting to it. I'm happy that it's been a year now of doing this, and happy that we get to talk about the second half of Kids in the Street next time.
Yes. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you in the next one.